Yeah, so BMW's got a question for you. What do you get when you combine a twin turbo V8, an electric motor, and a pretty big battery pack? What do you get? what do you what do you think you get? You get a damn heavy car. Now, some of you might say, well, that's not really a big surprise. Pretty much every new car, it weighs a little bit more than the last generation, but guess what? Guess what? We're not talking about a little bit more. We're talking like we're talking like 1,000 pounds more than the last M5. So think about that. And you might be wondering, well, how the hell they do that? Well, right here, this picture shows you, yeah, they went with a plug-in hybrid vehicle. So it's not just a regular hybrid. This one, the battery pack is even bigger. And, of course, they're going to say, well, that allowed us to put a bigger electric motor on it and to give you more power. So for power, like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, we're talking about 700. 700 horsepower, about 700 pound-feet of torque as well. So, yeah, I mean, obviously there's no question about the acceleration, top speed, all those figures. There's no question about that. It's just, yeah, I mean, how is it going to drive with so much weight? And by the way, this thing actually weighs 500 pounds more than something like a Tesla Model S Plaid with a huge battery pack. So think about that. I don't know how they, honestly, I don't know how they managed to make it this heavy. And, BMW said they were kind of considering the idea of just going with a regular hybrid. So that would have only added 500 pounds over the last M5. But going plug-in hybrid, it bumped it up to 1,000 pounds more than the last M5. So I don't know. They must just assume that M5 owners are going to plug these things in. And in fact, I would say if you do end up buying one of these, just remember that. Remember that they added another 500 pounds to this thing so you could plug it in. So you might want to actually do that. Now, if you really are concerned with all this weight, they will sell you this. This is an option, by the way, and it's not cheap. They will sell you the carbon roof. So if you don't get the carbon roof, not only do you just get the standard roof, but the standard roof has the panoramic sunroof in it. So actually, when you go carbon roof, you actually save over 60 pounds. And then, of course, the weight on top as well. So it's gonna lower the center of gravity. But the question is, how much of a difference does 60 pounds really make on a car that weighs over 5,000 pounds? That's the question. And, and by the way, this is the one thing BMW will say, is that, yes, it does weigh 1,000 pounds more than the last M5, but, whether you go with the carbon roof or not, it doesn't matter. They say that the center of gravity is lower because of the battery pack sits down low. So, that is the argument. That's the argument all electric cars make. And there is some truth to that, right? I mean, there is some truth to that. And then on the rear, yeah, we do get the traditional quad exhaust setup. So don't worry, this thing is still going to be loud. It's still going to look mean. In fact, it really does look aggressively mean, because guess what? They're saying that this thing is like 2 to 3 inches wider than a standard 5 Series. And I mean, you can really see that, how much these actually flare out. And, of course, because of that, they had to tuck the bumper back in eventually to the standard width. So we get these large, I don't know, there's like these large vertical reflectors kind of just stuck in there. And of course, they'll say too that this is actually good for aero, to kind of create, clean trailing edge off the rear of the bumper. Same thing, that's the whole concept behind the lip spoiler as well. So, and then, if you're wondering, did they get the little details right? Yeah, they did. They did put the M5 on the C-pillar instead of just the 5, like just the regular 5 has. And something I do like here on the side, check this out. We do get this like very large sidewall These are staggered wheels, by the way. 20s up front, 21s in the rear, but either, you can tell, just either one, there's a nice meaty sidewall on it. I'm so glad to see this. I hate seeing these skinny little rubber band tires on these cars. A 20-inch wheel with a good amount of rubber on it, that's perfect, really. And for the interior, yeah, it doesn't disappoint. You're going to get all of the M touches that you normally get. Yeah, there's carbon fiber on the dash. The seats, yeah, the seats look amazing. This is an available option. The only thing I'd say is I don't know if I'd recommend going with this color combination. They're actually showing these orange and black seats with, if you look closely over here, this isn't the green car. So I don't know, BMW, they've been doing these weird things with color combinations, like combining green with yellow and red, or green with orange and black. And then on the wheel here, we do get the traditional M buttons. M1, M2, you can kind of set up your own custom drive modes. And of course, with this being a plug-in hybrid, you got all the other parameters with the electric motor and the assist and all that. You can set it, hey, you can set it up any way you want, even if you want to make one of these M1 or M2 buttons into like an electric mode. I mean, hey, maybe you do. You could do that.